2 minutes left. Either the ball is going to be in the hands of Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. Just will be. The two best players on the teams. Let's go to the NBA Finals. Celtics have the ball. They're down 1. Pretty good chance Jason Tatum is taking the shot.
I think so.
Not Kevin Pritchard. Tatum's taking the shot.
Nice pull there, Mike.
Thank you.
That's very good.
Connor McDavid's taking the shot. He just is in the Stanley Cup Finals. He's taking the shot.
Sure.
He's going to be out there, and they're going to try to get him the shot. And I've said this a lot over the last couple of years, and it's kind of met with whatever, that in baseball, the best hitter on your team may not come up in the 9th inning with the game on the line. And you wonder, baseball is kind of like suffering. And so there's a story that came out yesterday. Jason Stark in the Athletic detailed that Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, is talking about the golden at bat, which essentially is this. You could save one move a game, where the Yankees are down by a run. And due up that inning is Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells, and say Ben Rice. And Aaron Boone goes, you know what? I want Aaron Judge up. Then I'm using my golden at bat. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not. But let me tell you something, everybody.
Listen up, get close to the radio.
Baseball's not perfect. That's why it's suffering. It's suffering. Well, some of the greatest moments that you ever saw in baseball over the last couple of years was Ohtani against Trout in the WBC. Not contrived, it just worked out that way. But that's all we were talking about that week. That at bat. That at bat. Freddie Freeman. He's not the best Dodger hitter, but he's one of the best, hitting that home run off of Nestor Cortez. That'll live on in Dodger history. So I'm just following social media today, and people are so arrogant and parochial when it comes to baseball. And they're killing Rob Manfred, who has the nerve, the absolute unmitigated gall to think about somehow lighting a fire under baseball. Oh, he's ruining the game. Oh, he's the worst. Some players talking out. I wouldn't watch another game. Roger Clemens, who I respect. This is ridiculous. So I could face Aaron Judge, get him out, and then they could send up Aaron Judge again. Yeah. Is it perfect? No. Would I sign off on it? Probably wouldn't. But imagine the outcry because a guy is trying to do something to juice a game that needs to be juiced. And all the people that say this is like sacrilege, guess what? We got you. It's the young players, the young people. We don't have them. So we have to turn the 9th inning into an event where your best player is going up against the closer. And you see no value in that. Because nothing can change. Nothing can change in baseball because it's not a sport. It's a religion. You all have to get your heads out of your butts. You really do. Is this the answer? Don't know if it's the answer. But to jump a guy for trying to make a legitimate change or thinking about a legitimate change, even a guy I love, Howie Rose, this has got to be a joke. No, the loss of baseball eyeballs, that's a joke, Howie. There's got to be something that stops it. It's got to be something that stops the erosion of this great game. You've got to make it appeal to more people, younger people. Those are the people we do not have. And you're going to crucify Rob Manfred because he's thinking outside the box? You all have to grow up. And you all have to open your eyes to see what's happening with the game. You got to grow up.
Well, I'm on both sides of the aisle on this one because really, is it any worse than putting a runner at second base in extra innings?
No, I hate that rule. Hate it.
Right. You hate it. Listen, there's going to be rule changes you like and some that you hate. But this is pretty jarring. I mean, the baseball is what it is, Michael. You don't want to completely change the complexion of the sport. Like, you want to be able to keep the basics of it, you know, and being able to have the golden at bat. It feels a little contrived to me. And as far as
contrived.
Saying, well, you know what? There's a lot of other things he can do, like making the game a little bit more accessible. So I'll have to have a dozen different apps to be able to watch the game. And all the blackout rules that really kill people from being able to really enjoy the game when their team that's in their market they're not a fan of. Or how about trying to figure out a way that some of these teams can actually compete financially? So you have that air that you have in other sports where my team can still find a way to be able to make the playoffs instead of, sitting there having a $36 million payroll and nobody caring about the franchise. There's a lot of things he can do to fix the sport than these silly contrived rules, Michael. I understand he's got a players association. It makes it very difficult. And I understand that he's trying to at least be open-minded to things. I thought he did the right thing by speeding the game up. That has really helped. But there's a lot of other reasons why baseball's in the situation that it's in, Michael, because when you do get Dodgers, Yankees, you don't get any complaints, do you? When you get two of the biggest teams in the sport, two of the biggest stars in the sport, nobody was complaining about golden at bats and all that. So just make the game a little bit more accessible. So that's how you grow fans. Don't have, games going till 3 o'clock in the morning and starting World Series games so late at night. You want to there's a lot of things you can do to get young kids to enjoy the sport rather than changing the fundamental way of the game that it's played.
But every other sport changes the fundamental way the game is played. The NBA added a three-point shot. That fundamentally changed it and ruined it, by the way. I don't think the NBA is anywhere near as good as it was before the three-point shot. That's all they do right now.
Ruin
strong. A lot of people do like that.
Well, you know what? It's losing eyeballs because it's run and gun. Everybody complains about the NBA All-Star game. The regular games are just like the NBA All-Star game. Let's kick it out for three. Kick it out for three. Kick it out for three. There's no ball movement. It's movement around the perimeter. It's not as aesthetically pleasing. But they felt they needed to make a change. Every sport makes really unbelievable changes. Baseball does anything, and people's heads explode. So keep getting upset about anything that's brought up. Keep doing that. Keep doing that, and watch your sport die.
But I also think it's good that you have people that are passionate that don't want to see.
But we have them, Donnie. We have those people. They're not going to go away if you came up with a silly thing like the golden at bat.
I know, but you just got to be careful, man, because I saw somebody bring this up. I don't want to take credit for it, and I would give the person credit if I saw who tweeted it out. NASCAR did the same thing with their stupid playoffs. It's confusing. It didn't help at all, and now they're stuck with it. You got to be careful, too, man. Not every idea is a great idea. And so what are you going to abolish it if it doesn't work? Not every team has an Aaron Judge. All right, not every team has a Shohei Ohtani.
But every team has a best player.
Yeah, but not all. But you're going to talk about the best of the game. But if I'm sitting there watching, Rays and whoever, I might not necessarily have that player that I'm going to get all that excited about. And I can understand pitchers like the strategy of the game. I'm trying to pitch to Judge, and now I got to face Judge again.
But think about it from the flip side, Michael. From an entertainment standpoint, think about how many. And I know you're on the side of this. Think about how many big games you basically know are over because of the part of the lineup that they happen to be stuck in at the end. The idea that you now have to stick around. Listen, it's not like if you're down 5 runs, Don. It's not like getting one magic at bat is going to get you 5 runs back. It just gives you a little bit of life, and in the right spot could save a game.
And it adds strategy, Peter, because when are you going to use that one golden at bat? The chance to win a game could be the 7th inning. So if you save it for the 9th, you might have blown it.
What's next? The golden arm that I can bring in a pitcher that was already taken out to face the golden at bat?
Don, you're better. You are better.
But Don, don't you think that
what's next argument?
The relief pitcher is the golden arm that you're bringing in?
I don't hate it. I'm just trying to just be careful. Just throwing
Michael, when did they add the reliever? When did relievers come to the game?
Well, I mean, they used to be failed starters, so I mean, you could say it started with Suter or Fingers or
But back in the day, every pitcher was pitching 9 innings.
Yep.
You could argue that the second relief became a thing in baseball. That would have ruined the game as we know it. we've adapted. It's a major part of it that makes the game intriguing. This could just be a further adaptation of that.
Don, wouldn't you say? I mean, it seems, and I have long been a traditionalist, but I don't want to see this sport die. All right? Wouldn't you say that the game is completely different than it was when we were kids? Completely different.
I think it's evolved, but it's fundamentally stayed the same. I think that's why people are so upset about.
Okay, did the sport die when they went to a DH? Did it die? No.
Because I think people didn't want to see a pitcher just be an automatic.
All right, and some maybe they don't want to see a 195 hitter with the game on the lineup.
And I think speeding
they want
the game
LeBron
up
James to take the shot.
Well, but I just think there's other ways that you can make the sport a lot more.
I essentially agree with you, Don. But all I'm saying is the way people are reacting, like they took the Shroud of Turin and they set it on fire. I mean, it's a sport.
I understand it's a sport, but it's.
What are the other ideas, though? Well, I'm curious. What are some of the ideas that would really make it more fun?
You're talking about like that involves money. Okay, that involves money. I mean, obviously, they're all businessmen. Owners are not going to put World Series games on at 5 o'clock in the afternoon if they're going to lose money. This does not involve money. There's a fundamental change.
I know but be careful with the fundamental changes, because I know Peter jumped me for like what's next, but you start thinking about that, because the what next after they put a runner at second base in extra innings. Oh my God, it's ridiculous, because it fundamentally changed the game. And now this happened, so I just took the natural progression. All right, well, then why not I could bring in Edwin Diaz to get a key out in the 5th inning, knowing that I can maybe bring him in the 9th inning too. So where does it end? I mean, this is kind of what the game is. You don't want to completely blow it up. Listen, everything changed. The NHL got rid of the red line. They added the trapezoid. Football's probably evolved more than anyone. It's almost unrecognizable than the game that we watched 30, 40, 50 years ago. But it's still 10 yards for a first down. A touchdown is still worth 6 points. I mean, they didn't fundamentally change it that much. This is a little jarring to me. I can understand people being upset. And you look at it as such a negative. I mean, people really love the game of baseball. I don't think there's that much wrong with the game. What's wrong with the game is that it was too slow. They seem to fix that. But I think the game is still fun. My son loves it. And he'll fall out of love with it when he starts to see that all the games aren't as available to him, and he can't stay up to watch the games, and then he might fall out of love with it, not because he doesn't find the game fun. He does find the game fun.
But I mean, to me, that's a sketchy argument. If your son lives in New Jersey and he becomes either a Yankee or a Met fan, every game is available to him. We're talking about people in other parts of the country that don't have a home team.
Or they just don't root for that team. Why is it? Because I go through this with hockey too, and it's starting to change just a little bit. But we always just take the knee on the argument, it's a regional sport. Why is it a regional sport? Why is the NBA and the NFL national sports where people really love players and follow players, but baseball and hockey, it just seems to be regional. They only care about their team. Why is that?
I don't know. I think that's a big problem. And that's why Rob Manfred is trying to collect all the rights to the local games so that he can have a true every game is available. But you think the Yankees and the Mets and the Red Sox and the Dodgers are giving up their local TV?
Well, I know, but these are the problems they have. That's why the NFL is the NFL, because there were people like Wellington Mara that said, you know what, I am going to share it. Even though I'm in New York and I can make way more money than everybody else, in order to be able to grow this sport, I want to be able to share the revenue. I want every team to have a chance to win. Right? They don't need a salary cap. They print money, but they realize I want teams like Jacksonville to have a chance to succeed. I want Cincinnati to have a chance to succeed. That's one of the major reasons why the NFL is the NFL, because every market feels like they've got a shot. You don't have the small market, big market problem that you have in baseball. Well, you did see owners make sacrifices back in the day, and the sport was better for it.
But that was at the essential beginning of the league. I mean, now you're going to try to change the rules. A lot of what the Yankees are worth is because of the market that they're in and their television, right, and the Dodgers and the Red Sox and the Mets and all of that. But and Jason Stark's story essentially was they might try this in an all-star game. Now, would you have a problem with that? And then you see
No,
people,
I mean, it's an all-star.
fans going, how could you? You don't think it'd be smart to keep Ohtani for the bottom of the ninth inning against the best reliever the American League has to offer? That people might stay tuned to Fox to see the end of the All-Star game?
Of course.
So then, if that works, why wouldn't it work during the regular season? And again, I don't want people saying that I endorse this. I endorse trying to come up with solutions because something's broken. Something's broken. Please don't think of it as church. No other sport is thought of as church. Every other major sport has made fundamental changes to the rules.
Right.
And if baseball does it, people go nuts.
Well, and I agree with you. And I thought that speeding the game up and adding the clock has been tremendous. I think that's really helped the game. People can't commit to 4 hours watching baseball and then do it again the next day. That was a great rule. But you even admitted adding the runner, that you don't like that. Because that seemed like a bit much. At least they don't do it in the postseason, thank God. But still, some of these regular season games are very, very important late in the year. And that compromised the game. I can understand, Peter, people thinking this might be a little too far.
I just want to say, and who am I? But I have been watching baseball for 40 years, 40. Mm-hmm. There is something so different about this to me than the extra runner.
Why?
The extra runner puts someone in play on the field who didn't earn their way out there. This is changing basically the way lineups work. It's not, Michael, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not injecting a player into scoring position who never did anything. This is giving both teams an opportunity to mess with your lineup one time. I just think it's completely different feel-wise. I'm offended by the runner at second base.
I hate it.
I love the idea of this.
I hate the runner at second base, so I'm not all for change whatever and shake it up. But I don't think that this should just be summarily dismissed. So Dan Carubia on X says, hey, Mikey, shut the hell up on the golden at bat. Not good. No way to change this part of the game. Manfred cut 40 minor league teams. Bad for baseball. All about the cash. This is his goal, money. Hey, Dan, wake up. That's the goal of anybody who runs a business. Money. This is not a public trust. It's money. These are private investors that own teams. His job, Manfred's job, is to make them the most money. Is he doing something wrong? Do you hate Scott Boras because he's getting his clients the most money?
Yeah,
I love when people rail about the money.
Do.
It's about money.
You don't think people hate Scott Boras for that? Of course they do.
But for the wrong reason. He's just doing his job. I mean, Rob Manfred works for the 30 owners. He doesn't work for the players. I love that. Oh, he's only trying to get money. Oh, duh. Of course he's trying to get money. That's his marching orders. That's why they gave him a job. Make us most money. What do you think Roger Goodell does? You think Roger Goodell's there for the good of the NFL? No, he has to make all of those owners the most money he can make. That's why he sells the streaming services. I mean, people got to wake up.
And remember, adding the extra runner wasn't entertainment purposes as much as it was we just have these games are lasting too long.
No, I hated that, Don, because essentially it was a stupid solution. And it wasn't that the games were lasting so long, because if you have a nice, long 14, 15-inning game, people are actually engaged in it. They actually are. This was all about you don't want to waste pitchers and stuff like that. But then don't have a manager use a pitcher an inning. I thought that great long games were memorable. You'd be talking about them for weeks if a game went 18 innings. Now you got a carnival act. This is not a carnival act. And it's not my ultimate solution. All I'm saying is you can't jump everybody that's trying to make a difference. How's it a carnival act? So the DH was a carnival act, right?
I'm sure it was probably looked upon, but it just felt like, all right, I've got pitchers that can't hit. So, and also,
but Don, everybody in the National League fought it tooth and nail.
But it was also good for the game. We don't have, probably the last 7 years of Reggie Jackson's career or Dave Winfield's career without the DH. So you saw how it helped. The Players Association was for because it helped the longevity of players. It made the game, why have a guy that's going to be an automatic out that doesn't want to do it anyway, to have guys come off the bench and to be able to participate in making the game better. But it didn't fundamentally change it the way this does. The idea is that's the batting order. You put the strategy of putting the batting order together and pitching around that batting order. Not all of a sudden in the ninth inning I've got to face Shohei Ohtani 2 times in a row.
But the old strategy used to be, let's walk the number 8 hitter and face the pitcher. I mean, yeah, any change is going to change strategy. But this, as Peter said, this actually enhances strategy. When am I going to use this golden at bat? Who am I going to, if the Yankees get back Soto, who are you picking for the golden at bat, Soto or Judge?
And it's so cool, like in a 1-0 game where you feel really good all day long, you know, Michael, that your reliever late in the game is going to have to get by the best offensive player on the other team no matter what. It's certainly worth a try, man. I can't see why it wouldn't be worth a shot.
And everybody that's listening, you should read Jason's story. It's tremendous because it covers both sides. And he's like me. He's not necessarily in favor of it, but he is in favor of, like, finding a solution to something that's wrong. But, like there was a pitcher that was, quote, I've got to face the best hitter when he's not due up. I'm not doing that. Okay. All right. Really? Really? You think Mariano Rivera would say that?
I don't know. Should ask him. He'd come on.
There's so many offshoots of this, floating of this golden at bat. Can you imagine what the manager has to do and the fires he has to put out? I mean, you could have your cleanup hitter. Let's say the Yankees last year had their cleanup hitter coming up, Austin Wells. Take a seat. I want Judge to bat again. I mean, it's going to put a lot of pressure on manager. It's going to be very intriguing if they actually do. I don't think they'll ever do it. I'm just defending the right to think outside the box. Think outside the box.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Michael, even if Don, for example, doesn't like it, you have to like that they're trying to do stuff. They may not get the version that you want exactly. Like, we all know I've been hung up on the idea of them changing All-Star Tuesday to an All-Star Sunday, right? I get it. I may not get exactly what I'm looking for to make the game better, but we all agree that the popularity of the game has been going the wrong direction. You got to try some different things to make it more appealing, and I love taking shots.
And some of the criticisms that I've seen, well, it's going to be the Savannah Bananas. The Savannah Bananas sell out stadiums everywhere they go. So they're touching some kind of nerve.
Well, and by the way, stop yourself. Stop yourself. That's like saying that adding the 3-point line made the NBA the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, that didn't happen. I mean, you may not like the game, this version of the NBA. Michael, it's more popular than it's ever been.
It's losing some popularity, though. Ratings are down. It's going to be interesting to see if they have to fix something.
Well, hold on, but that's still relative to
the old days.
The old days. So yes, but by the way, also, LeBron's on the way out. We're years removed